Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Flavor of the Week. This week we're going to be talking about Katarina mid. Now this is an AP champion and she's an assassin. As always, we have our two rules. Play and win at least 10 normal games and then play 10 more ranked games and at least Diamond MMR. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's get into the pros and cons. Her pros, she can carry the game. Crazy hyperscaling potential. She has no resource like mana, so you don't have to worry about that. She has pretty good sustain with Gunblade, so you're always pretty healthy as long as you have some time to farm up. Her build path, super forgiving. Long swords, amplifying tomes. These things, they don't cost a whole lot and they build into almost every item she wants, so no matter when you get to go home, you'll probably have something to upgrade into. And also, the more time you put into Katarina, the better results you will continue to get. You can almost always improve and you'll never reach, your highest potential with her because she's just that high of a skill cap champion when you get really in depth with her. Now her cons are that enemies who can build MR really easily are a problem. Champions like Zed who can build Hex Shrinker can get kind of annoying. If the enemy team has 2 or more reliable CCs, you're going to have trouble in team fights, and this becomes much worse if one of those CCs is on an enemy support because they have the option to hold abilities longer. The best way to come back from being behind with Katarina is to just wait for a team fight where you get to clean up and not one where you can force an opportunity. So her cons aren't that bad. Let's get into how to play her. This is the rune page setup that I run. And here is the builds and the skill order that I take on Katarina. For more information on this, watch the end of the video and there'll be a commentary link with a much more in-depth overview of this stuff. Now, the important aspects for Katarina is that it doesn't take too long to snowball, but it might take a while to start snowballing. So you have to be patient and wait for the right opportunity. You don't want to throw and get behind when you can just stay even and wait for a chance to get ahead. Katarina is an assassin, so you have to play her like one. Looking for team fights isn't always worth it. Now here, this combo is Katarina's bread and butter, and it allows you to execute someone and get back pretty safe, pretty consistently. You E forward, gun them, W to get a reset on your E, Q where they're running, E to the Q dagger, and then decide what to do from there. If you Q first, you'll lose the option to follow, and you become much weaker as you'll be missing an extra dagger. Here's a small example. This main combo you need to learn on Cat, practice it because it's going to be the best way for you to find leads and find picks on enemies. Early game goals. For level 1, do your best to try not to use Q to CS. You might accidentally push. You can use it sometimes for the first 3 melee creeps if they die at the same time though. Your Q should be used to poke enemies back if they try to hit you when you go for CS with melee. At level 2, hopefully the lane is not under the enemy tower. You can look for more harass with Q while CSing, and you can also find openings to harass with E onto the dagger, and then auto attack for the electric proc and run. Trading equally at level 2 is usually better for Cat, because her level 3 is pretty great. At level 3 and on, you win in almost every lane if played correctly. You E to the enemy, W, Q when they start to run, and then E to that dagger that dropped from the Q. You ignite, and you auto attack whenever you can, of course. Now, you should always try to E to the side of the enemies will run and then W. That way, when they try to run away, you have more time for that W dagger to land. And make sure that you always Q towards where the enemy is going to run, so if you have to wait a second to use it, then do so. This will allow you to follow up or back off if you want to. Once you get the hang of this, you'll crush basically every game until level 6, where ultimates can impact the lane. In the mid game, if enemies are too passive or you're having trouble finding a way to get kills in lane, you have to find ways to roam. Roams are similar in that you would E first usually, however if you don't have to E, don't. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and if an enemy still has an escape, you might miss kills. Also, don't really open up with Q unless the fight is going to be in the same area for a little bit. Just running at people will make them panic and show their hand before you do, and then you can decide what you want to do after. Cat shines in 2 to 3 man fights, so try to pick these skirmishes in the mid game. When you get your Gunblade, you should be looking for picks via this combo it's disgustingly strong, and we'll show it here. Part of why this combo is so good is because it gives you the option to leave or reset a fight while blowing enemy flashes and not really spending anything huge yourself. In the late game, you're also going to be looking for that pick potential as we talked about before, and you should also be looking to hover between lanes, catching people rotate. You're not really that great at sieges unless you're far ahead, so just look for people out of position. If you are ahead, you can look to dive with Zhonya's and use resets to escape. If you are looking to teamfight, try not to be the first in. However, sometimes you have to be the first one in if your team is full of squishies. If this is the case, you need Zhonya's. You'll want to E, W, Q, and then Zhonya's right away, and then use the reset from the W dagger landing after your stasis is done to continue chasing or escape. Most games, you won't need to do this, and you shouldn't be doing this. In the late game, there's also the decision between channeling full ulti or jumping on a dagger for resets. This depends on the fight, if you need to keep moving, or if you can just hang out, channel your ultimate, and do a ton of damage. As always, we have an entire separate commentary with more in-depth info on the runes, builds, and a full gameplay review in Diamond Plus MMR. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below or in our Discord linked in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.